Hi and welcome to Jacob's Family Journey. Today we're going to be making some Bisquick, homemade Bisquick. Now, I started making Bisquick because I use it for a number of things. You can use it for pancakes and waffles, biscuits, and you know those wonderful, I won't say the first part of the name, but they're lobster cheese biscuits. It's a restaurant, hint hint, and they are super awesome, and the biscuits are flaky and light, and so are the pancakes. And I make a big batch because I have a family of 4, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so I cook about 3 meals a day. And although I might not use this 3 times a day, it's good and it's fast. And say that I just need to get like some biscuits or pancakes done, or waffles is good. Waffles, I don't know if I even mentioned waffles. It's also good for pancakes. So say I am in a rush, I don't have time to just make take out all these ingredients to make some waffles or some pancakes. I can just get my Bisquick mix and add a couple of things like some eggs and milk or water. Some people don't have lactose intolerance, and so let's get started. In my bowl, I have this humongous stainless steel bowl that my hubby bought me years ago for bread. I started making bread, oh man, probably about 5 years ago. I started making bread because and the only reason I'm gonna be honest is because which is so off the topic, because I wanted to make muesli from Starbucks, and I thought I can make that myself, and I'm getting tired of spending $5-7 on this pack. So anyway, that's what got me started on my journey for baking breads and things like that. But there's another reason too, but let's keep going. To this mix, in this bowl I have 8 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. You can do all-purpose flour and half wheat flour. You can do, I wouldn't do self-rising flour unless you know how to calculate your, the rest of the mixes and take them out. But I do all-purpose flour, and you can do a number of things. Like if you're gluten-free, you can do this as well. It might be a little more expensive, but you could play around with the quantities of flour, and I'm pretty sure that it will come out to be awesome. Also in this bowl, I have 1.5 cups of lard. Now again, you can change this out completely and totally and make this more healthy if you want by adding, and I'm going to say I'm just not a Crisco fan anymore, so that's why I'm not using Crisco. I used to buy Crisco all the time because that was my family must-have. My grandma, I grew up with my grandma putting Crisco in her biscuits and in her pancakes and stuff, so you know, that's how I grew up. But I've done a lot of research and a lot of, you know, Crisco is not the same as it used to be, or excuse me, hydrogenated vegetable oil is not as the same that it used to be. And they used to do it from cottonseed oil. They don't do it now. Most of it is soybean oil, which is GMO. Anyway, so don't get me started on that. Also in my bowl, I have not instant dry milk, not instant dry milk flakes, but I have instant dry, just regular dry milk that I buy in bulk. I have 6 teaspoons of sugar, and that's it. 6 teaspoons of sugar for 8 cups of flour. That's not bad. I have 1/4 cup of baking powder, and I have about a tablespoon of salt, And that's all that this calls for. And I also have my pastry cutter that I use, but if you don't have that, it'll just take you a little bit longer, and you can use your fork. And if it's only for your family, only, meaning no guests, no anything like that, you can use your fork in your hand. But if you're going to be using this mix for other people, I would not, outside of your home, I would not be using my hands, because I don't think they would appreciate it. So I'm going to mix everything, pour everything in here. This is a one-stop hitter quitter. And I'm going to just go ahead and mix the salt, sugar, and dry mix and baking powder up in here so it'll be evenly distributed. And if you have a big, huge spoon, like my husband has bought me that I'm not using, I don't know why, then you can use that. And what I mean by a big, huge spoon is like these huge, like, I don't know if you remember the school cafeteria lady, those type spoons, but you know, those kind of distribute faster, more even, and I just love, you know, sometimes my husband brings me stuff, and I love that he's thinking about me while he's out, and he's like, okay, this will make things easier for you. Anyway, so you take your pastry cutter and you just start cutting in. If you have some gloves or something like that, I actually ran out of gloves, and I use a lot of gloves. I use gloves because I don't like touching raw meat. I have a phobia, I guess, of it, and I don't like the way to think. I don't like touching raw meat and then eating the food, because I feel like until, you know, a couple of days later, if you're touching raw meat, I feel like it's still up under your nails and it's hard to get out. So that's why we use gloves, and I try to keep gloves, but I haven't really gone to Walgreens. Okay, so say you get some stuff. This is what a pastry cutter is so awesome for too. You get some lard or whatever oil you're using, coconut oil, lard. I would not use an oil that is super liquidy like olive oil. You need something that's more close to shortening. So coconut oil would be good. And so say you get some mix on the side, you just go with your pastry cutter, saw on the sides, and then keep on going. So what you're looking for really is, and I'm going to bring you the results of it, because I have a little bit left from my last batch that's almost gone. And what you're looking for is, and I will tell you that it makes 3 quarts. At the end of it, it'll fill this whole thing, 3 quarts. And what you're looking for is coarse, like almost like coarse cornmeal is what you're looking for. And it'll come out like this. And you can also use butter. I don't even know if I said use butter, but here's why I don't recommend butter. I don't recommend butter because if you use butter or margarine, this container has to stay in your refrigerator, because it is not stable with the sugar and the flour outside of your refrigerator. If you put in butter, you run the risk of it going rancid outside of the refrigerator. I mean, say you do butter, okay, and you got a baby, and you know things are hectic in your house, and you take it out, you make biscuits for your kids, and you look at in the evening and you say, oh my word, my Bisquick left out. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how I do it. If I make this on today, which is a Tuesday, and I leave it out until Saturday, if you're using butter or margarine, you don't want to do this. But you can use it. You just have to keep it in the refrigerator. And be cautious if you leave it out, really cautious, because you could make, that could become toxic for your family, and you do not want that to happen. So, I want to show you again, this is how it really comes out. Kind of like coarse ground meal. And what happens is while you're breaking it into this mixture in the bowl, you're coating each one of those pieces. And so I don't know if you buy Bisquick, which is super expensive, and I'll probably make another video where it shows the cost breakdown of homemade Bisquick to the Bisquick at the store. I don't even know what it's called. I don't even know if it's called Bisquick anymore. It might be just, I don't know. Anyway, all I know is that's what I know it for. And how much it costs, because in this, you know, this container was full, and when you measure it out, say you're making pancakes and you can measure out 2 cups of this, a cup of milk or water, and 2 eggs, you're not adding anything else. Everything else is in here for you. And so it's all mixed together, it's all evenly distributed, and you don't have to worry about it. I will thank you for coming to my channel. Hit the like, comment, or subscribe. I hope that you come back and visit us, because we're going to have a great time making different things, from breads to biscuits to just DIYs to save money. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have time to spend a lot of money. Thank you. Bye.
My God is a quiet God, He hardly ever says it